Hey, welcome back to Reads and Reviews. Before I get into the review, this may contain spoilers. And one other thing, I want to tell you a little something about myself. When I was in high school, maybe 16 or 17, we read Wuthering Heights, and then they showed us a movie. I loved it. I fell in love with the book and the movie. Anyone who really knows me knows that Wuthering Heights is my all-time favorite love story. There are probably a dozen different versions of this movie out there, and I've seen most of them, if not all. And I've enjoyed one, the original, until now. When the new movie came out, I had to see it. I mean, how could I not? I just said it's my favorite. I saw it yesterday, and you know what I did today? I watched the original. Again. Why? Because I love it. And I wanted to compare it to the one I saw yesterday, and to the book, which, with the book, I don't remember every detail. I told you I was 17, and that was 100 years ago. This Wuthering Heights is not quite the book I read in high school. By no means. In case you didn't read the book or see the original, the movie is about Catherine Heathcliff, an orphan taken in by her family during childhood. They grow up exploring the moors together, forming a deep, almost inseparable connection. As they mature, class differences and social pressures drive a wedge between them, with Cathy drawn to the wealthy Edgar Linton, whom she eventually marries. Heartbroken and scorned, Heathcliff disappears for several years, returning as a wealthy man determined to exact revenge on those who wronged him, including Cathy and the Linton family. The story escalates into obsession, toxic passion, and tragedy, ending in Cathy's death and Heathcliff's grief. Now, I have in my little notebook over here, I made a few notes to compare the two movies and the book. So, let's go through them, shall we? In the original, as in the book, it starts with a new tenant of Heathcliff who's lost in the storm. So he's spending the night at Heathcliff's home. And as he's getting ready for bed, he looks out the window and he sees Cathy's spirit. After Cathy appears to him, he goes down and Ellen tells him the story of Cathy and Heathcliff. That's another thing. In the old one, she's known as Ellen. In the new, she's known as Nellie. I mean, they're both her name, but they never refer to her as Ellen in the new movie. In the new movie, with Cathy's father coming home with a child as a pet for Cathy, Cathy names him Heathcliff after her dead brother. They are very poor and living in terrible conditions. In the original, her brother is alive and they're well off. Heathcliff came with a name. She didn't name him. And the brother hates Heathcliff. In the original, the father dies when they're children, and the brother becomes master of the house and makes Heathcliff a servant. In the new, the father lives until he's old and Cathy is grown and married. If you want to consider it grown. I mean, Cathy was 15, 16? But that's how they did it back then. In the new movie, there is no Henley, the brother. As I just said, Henley was master of Wuthering Heights. And what made Heathcliff so monstrous as an adult, is the abuse he suffered at the hands of Henley. In the new movie, it was the father. He was mean to him. In the original, the Lintons were their neighbors. In the new, they were still their neighbors, but they were new neighbors. That's not very important, but I decided to throw it in there. In the original, Kathy is bitten by the Lintons' dog when she and Heathcliff were spying on them on the party the Lintons were having. In the new, Kathy falls off a stone fence and sprains her ankle while spying on Linton and his sister eating lunch in the garden. I guess that's not that important either, but I threw it in there. In both movies, Kathy stayed with the Lintons for weeks, and that's where Edgar Linton falls in love with her. In the original, she stayed with them twice. The second time is when she became ill after being in the cold rain, and that's when she agreed to marry Edgar. Now, Kathy's death. In the original, she died of inflammation of the lungs. That was in 1939. In the new, she had a miscarriage. She died from complications of the miscarriage. So I guess in 1939, they were not talking about such things in movies. In the book, she died of childbirth fever. She died 2 hours after giving birth to her daughter due to complications related to childbirth. Childbirth fever. My favorite quote, I wrote this down. My favorite quote in the movie. It just shows how much Kathy loved Heathcliff. While having a conversation with Ellen, she said, "Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same." I find that so touching. Now, characters in the movies. Edgar Linton's father is in the original, but not in the new. As I just stated, Kathy's brother was Lord of Wuthering Heights in the original. He was a drunk and not her father. Her father was a drunk in the new movie, but not in the old. He was successful, but when the brother took over as Lord of Wuthering Heights, he became a drunk. And he was the one to lose all their money and their home after he let the home fall apart. Heathcliff in the book is described as a dark-skinned man, causing people for generations to wonder if he was a person of color, probably Indian. In both movies, he's not. Isabella, Edgar's sister, in the original and in the book, she falls in love and marries Heathcliff, who abused her to get back at Kathy. Because remember, Heathcliff loves Kathy, and she's married to Isabella's brother. In the new movie, she's a freak. She does marry Heathcliff. He does abuse her, but she likes it. Sex. In the original and in the book, Kathy and Heathcliff only share a kiss. That's it. No more. In the new movie, honey, they have a full-blown affair. They had an affair. Now, Heather, not a person, the wildflower. This may not seem important to you, but it is to me. And I'll tell you, this will show you how important it is to me. When I was pregnant with my first daughter, remember, this is my favorite movie. I love the book. I considered naming my daughter Heather because of this, but my sister talked me out of it. She said, don't name your child after a weed. So, anyway, Heather is mentioned in the original movie 4 times. I don't know how many times it's mentioned in the book, but they do talk about it in the book. The first time, Kathy and Heathcliff are on their little it's a little cliff. They always meet there. And she ran down into the heather and she told Heathcliff, Heathcliff, fill my arms with heather. And he did. The second time, as Kathy is getting married, or after she married Edgar, a little girl runs up to her with a bouquet of white heather, and she gives it to Kathy for luck. And then the third time, Heathcliff asks Isabella why wasn't there the smell of heather in her hair? Because Kathy's hair always smelled like heather. And then the last time, on her deathbed, Kathy asked Edgar to go down into the garden and pick her a bunch of heather. In the new movie, heather is not mentioned one time. Not once. Not once. So, that's the difference there. And the last thing, at the end of the original movie, you see Heathcliff and Kathy reunited in death. You see their spirits walking off into the moors. The new movie doesn't touch on the supernatural. Not at all. So, that's it. That's a little note so that I wrote down. I just wanted to share that with you. Now let me tell you this. This Wuthering Heights, this movie, is a very loose version of the novel, meaning fans of the book, like me, who are going into the theater expecting it to be like the book, should adjust their expectations. It took me several minutes while watching the movie to adjust my thinking. I first had to get past Kathy being a little blonde girl and, of course, a blonde woman, because in the book, she had black hair. So, just like I said, it is a loose version. And that's why, if you notice, the title is in quotations, because it's a loose version of the book. So, saying that, do I recommend Wuthering Heights? Yes, I do. I think you'll enjoy it. I'm Giselle Cooper. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all soon.